Dear students, hope you all are doing well for ZAT exam. This is a supporting class of biology. In this session, we are going to discuss about tissues, both plant and animal tissues. What's a tissue? Tissue is a group of cells which can perform a specific function. You all know that. In plants, there are two types of tissues, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are of three types. Which are they? Apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Permanent tissues are differentiated from meristematic tissue. Okay, permanent cells or permanent tissues are differentiated from meristematic tissue. Permanent tissues are of two types. Which are they? First one is simple permanent and second one is complex permanent. Simple permanent tissues are of three types, that are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Why it is called as simple permanent tissue? Which is made up of only one type of cell. Then complex permanent tissue is of two types, xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are made up of more than one type of cell. These all about plant tissues. In animal tissues are of four types. First one epithelial tissue, second connective tissue, third muscular tissue and last is neural tissue. In this session, we will discuss about some MCQs or objective type questions from tissues. Okay, let's start. See the first question from plant tissues. Which of the following cell are living cell? Which of the following cell are living cell? What are the options? First one fibers, second collenchyma, third vessels and last is sclerids. Here fibers and sclerids are sclerenchymatous cells. Simple tissues are of three types. Which are they? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is a simple permanent tissue. Sclerenchyma is a simple permanent tissue which is made up of only one cell and that is dead cell. The function is mechanical support. Sclerenchyma are of two types. First one is fiber and sclerid. It is dead cell. So leave it. The next is collenchyma. Collenchyma is also a simple permanent tissue. It is living. The thickening material is present only at corners. The main function is storage. Some of them contain chlorophyll pigments, so which help for photosynthesis and also do for mechanical support. Collenchyma is the living tissue. So this is the answer. Then third is vessel. You know that xylem vessel. Xylem vessel, function of xylem vessel is transportation of water and minerals. This is also dead cell. So the correct answer is collenchyma. Correct answer is collenchyma. Look, collenchyma cells are mostly elongated. Different shapes are there. Mostly elongated, spherical, oval or polygonal in shape. Some of them are elongated. Some of them are spherical, some of them are oval, different shapes. Collenchyma show vary in the shape. Cells are alive at maturity. At maturity, it is alive, it is living. The cell wall is unevenly thickened. That means thickening is present only at corners and mostly thickened at the corners. So, the correct answer is collenchyma. Correct answer is collenchyma. Collenchyma is living cell. Others are fiber, vessel and sclerid. These three are dead cell. Okay. Look, the next question. Second one. The girth of the stem increases due to girth. The thickness or the width of the stem increases due to which kind of tissue? Options are root apical meristem, lateral meristem, shoot apical meristem, intercalary meristem. What are meristems? Meristems are dividing cells. Continuously dividing or rapidly dividing cells are called meristems. Meristems are classified into three according to the position. Which are they? Apical, intercalary and lateral. Apical, apex. What is apex? At the tip of. Apical meristem is present at the apex of shoot system and root system. Their function is to increase the length of the stem and root. Okay. Second one is intercalary meristem. Intercalary. Here is root apical meristem. Root apical meristem is present at apex of root. Their function is to increase the length of the root. Then second, intercalary meristem. Intercalary. What is the meaning? Intercalary. Intercalated, in between. In between the permanent tissues, which help for internodal elongation. Then shoot apical meristem. Shoot means stem. Stem apical meristem is also an apical meristem which help to increase the length of the stem. Then B, option B is lateral meristem. Lateral meristem is present at lateral side of the stem which help for increase the girth. Which help to increase the girth of the stem. So, the correct answer is lateral meristem. The lateral meristems are present on the lateral side of the stem and root of the plant, which is usually present in dicot plants. Okay. These meristem help in increasing the thickness of the plant, increasing the thickness or increasing the girth or increasing the width of the plant body. Example, vascular cambium and cork cambium. Vascular cambium, the cambium present in between vascular bundle. If the cambium is present in between xylem and phloem, we call it as open vascular bundle. Cambium is absent, it is called closed vascular bundle. Vascular cambium, vascular tissues. Which are vascular tissue? Xylem and phloem are vascular tissue. The cambium present in between xylem and phloem, that cambium is known as vascular cambium. Cork cambium is present at secondary growth of dicot plant, dicot root and stem. Cork cambium. Cork cambium is also called as phellogen. Okay, example, vascular cambium and cork cambium. Lateral meristem example, cork cambium and vascular cambium, their function is to increase the girth of the stem. Okay, so the correct answer is lateral meristem. Then, see, third question. Prepared food is transported from leaves to other parts of the plant through prepared food. You know that plants are autotrophs. They can synthesize their own food in the presence of sunlight, and that phenomenon is known as photosynthesis. Which are the raw materials for photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide and water. What is the question? Prepared food material, organic form, that is glucose or carbohydrate. The prepared food material is transported from leaf. You know that leaves are the kitchen of the plant. So, maximum photosynthesis occurs in leaf. Why? Chlorophyll pigments are present in leaves, usually present in leaves, and also present in young stem. Then, leaf to other parts of the plant through. What are the options? Tracheids, sieve tube, vessels, sclerid. What are the elements of xylem? You know that xylem is a complex tissue, and what are the elements of xylem? Xylem elements are tracheids, vessels, parenchyma, xylem fiber. Xylem is water conducting tissue. Then tracheids, it is not as the answer. So tracheid is xylem element. The function of xylem is to conduction of water. Then sieve tube, vessels. Vessel is also the element of xylem. Sclerid, sclerid is sclerenchymatous tissue. Then sieve tube. Phloem consists of 4 types of cells: sieve tubes, companion cells, sieve fibers and sieve parenchyma. Sieve, not sieve fiber, phloem fibers and parenchyma. Here, sieve tube helps for transportation of food, prepared food from leaves to other parts of the plant. Look, the different elements of phloem include sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. 4 different kinds of cells are present in phloem. So, it is known as complex permanent tissue. What is the function of sieve tube? Transport sugars and nutrients. Sugars and nutrients. Sugar are formed by photosynthesis. Sugars and nutrients up and down the plant's in sieve cell. Companion cell control the activity of sieve tube. Companion cell totally controls the activity of sieve tube. When sieve tube becomes mature, it has no nucleus. So, the companion cell helps to control the sieve tube element. That is the control the activity of sieve tube. And phloem parenchyma, the function is to storage of food, resins, latex, storage of food, not transportation, storage of food. And last is phloem fiber. Phloem fiber is also called as bast fiber. They are sclerenchymatous cells. They lose protoplasm at maturity. That means it is dead cell. Their main function is to provide mechanical strength and support to conductive cells of the phloem. Look, once again the question, prepared food is transported from leaf to other part of the plant through phloem. Which element of phloem? Sieve tube. Okay, the correct option is sieve tube. Then next question. Yes. Then fourth question, stomata are not necessary for the diffusion of. You all know that. What is stomata? Stomata are small pores present on the leaf and younger stems. What are the main functions of stomata? Transpiration and gaseous exchange. Look, the example options are waste materials, carbon dioxide, water vapor and none of these. What is the question? Stomata are not necessary for the diffusion of. Which is the answer? Waste materials. Plants remove waste material by stomata, through stomata. Is it right or wrong? It's wrong. Then carbon dioxide diffusion, gaseous exchange, it is the function of stomata. Water vapor, what is transpiration? Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor through stomata. These two are correct. So, it is also correct. Then the wrong option is this one. Stomata are not necessary for. Then what is the answer? Waste material. Not necessary for the diffusion of waste material. See, stomata are tiny opening present on the epidermis of leaves. Epidermis of leaves and also present in younger stem. Okay. In some of the plants, stomata are present on stem and other parts of plant. Stomata play an important role in gaseous exchange and transpiration. Okay. So, the correct answer is waste material. Then, next question. Which of the following is cardiac muscle? Cardiac muscles. Muscular tissues are of 3 types. First one is skeletal muscle, second one is non-striated or smooth muscle and third one is cardiac muscle. Options are unbranched and multinucleate, uninucleate and unstriated, branched and uninucleate, none of these. In skeletal muscles are voluntary in action. They are unbranched, cylindrical and multinucleated. Skeletal muscles are voluntary in action, voluntary. Skeletal muscles are also called as voluntary muscles or striated muscles having dark and light striations, lines are there. Then second one is smooth muscle. Smooth muscles are involuntary muscles. Involuntary muscles, the shape of involuntary muscle or smooth muscle is spindle shape and uninucleate. Cardiac muscles are branched and uninucleate and have less striations. Branched, uninucleate and have less striations. So, which is the correct answer? Unbranched and multinucleate are skeletal muscle. Unbranched and multinucleate are skeletal muscle. skeletal muscle. Uninucleate and unstriated, uninucleate and unstriated smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are spindle shape. Then branched and uninucleate. Branched and uninucleate is the correct action. Correct answer. Cardiac muscles are branched and uninucleate. Have less striations. Have striations. Striations are present. Cardiac muscles have branching fibers, one nucleus per cell, striations and intercalated discs. Its contraction is not under voluntary control. Cardiac muscles are non-fatigue muscle, non-fatigue muscles. It does not fatigue. Okay, the correct answer is C. Then, question number 6. The nucleus of a neuron is present in neuron or nerve cell. What is the function of nerve cell? Transmission of impulses. Okay, what are the main parts of neuron? Dendrite, cell body, axon. Then at the end of axon, axonite is there. At the end of axonite, synaptic knob is there. What is the question? Nucleus of neuron is present in axon, dendrite, cell body, both A and C. Which is the correct answer? C. Neurons are fundamental unit of nervous system. They receive and transmit signals to different part of the body. All neurons are 3 different parts: dendrite, cell body and axon. But the nucleus is present in which part? Which part? What is the structure of a neuron? Here is the cell body. Here is the cell body. Then comes to axon. At the end, axonate. Okay. Then here is dendrite. 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 Nucleus is present in the cell body. The correct answer is cell body. Nucleus is present in the cell body. Okay. Then axon, in sometimes axons are of 2 types, myelinated and non-myelinated. Myelinated means which is enveloped by myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is a modification of Schwann cells. Okay. Then dendrites are branch-like structures that receive messages from other neurons and allow the transmission of messages to the cell body. Function of dendrite, branch-like structure. Here, branch-like structure that receive messages from other neuron and allow the transmission of messages to the cell body and carry the messages to the cell body. Then cell body contains nucleus, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria and other components. It is a eukaryotic cell, so all components are present in the cell body. Axon is a tube-like structure that carry electrical impulses from the cell body to the axon terminal that pass the impulses to another neuron. Axon, here this part is the axon, tube-like structure, carry electrical impulses from where? From the cell body to axonate and then pass through the impulses to other neuron. Okay. Answer is cell body. Cell body contain nucleus. Okay. Then next question. Question number 7. Fat storing tissue in our body is called. Fat storing tissue in our body is called. You know that muscular tissue, that is muscles, it is of 3 types. You already discussed that. Then adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a special connective tissue which is composed of fat cell. Fat storing cells are adipose tissue which is present below the skin. Okay. Then cartilage. Cartilage is also a connective tissue, specialized connective tissue, cartilage and bone. Then areolar tissue. Areolar tissue contains macrophages. Okay. The answer is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is specialized connective tissue mainly composed of fat cells. Fat cells called as adipocytes. Fat cells called as adipocytes, which is present below the skin. Subcutaneous fat, subcutaneous below the skin, between the internal organ, visceral fat and even in the inner cavity of bone, bone marrow, adipose tissue. Fat storing tissue is adipose tissue. Fat storing tissue is adipose tissue, which is usually present below the skin. The correct answer is adipose tissue. Then question number 8. Like bone, cartilage has widely spaced cells and a solid matrix consists of. Like bone, cartilage has widely spaced cells and solid matrix. Cartilage solid matrix consists of. You know that cartilage is a specialized tissue which is flexible connective tissue. The matrix is made up of proteins and sugar. Cartilage matrix is made up of protein and sugar. Cartilage cell is known as chondrocyte, which is usually found in our external ear pinna, then external nose, in between the vertebral column or in between the joint, the cartilage is present. What are the options? Calcium compound, both calcium and phosphate, phosphate and calcium is present in bones. Protein and sugar, cells are filled with fat globules and sugars. Which is the correct option? Made up of protein and sugar. Here is the correct answer. Cartilage has widely spaced cell and their matrix consists of protein and sugar. Cartilage is flexible than bone. Bone is hard, solid, brittle. Then cartilage is flexible. Okay. Answer is protein and sugar. Cartilage matrix consists of protein and sugar. The next question. Question number 9. Which type of tissue covers the external surface of the body and organ? External surface of the body, which type of tissue? And covering organ, all internal organs are covered by which kind of tissue? You know that there are 4 kinds of tissue present in human body. Which are they? Epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue. Okay, then which type of tissue covers the external surface of the body? What is the option? What are the options? Epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, nervous tissue, connective tissue. It's not muscle tissue, you know that. It's not muscle tissue. Then nervous tissue, no, it's not right. Then connective tissue connects different parts of the body. Okay, example is blood, bone, cartilage, ligament, tendons, these all are connective tissue. Then epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is found or covers the external surface of the body and other organs. See, epithelial tissue are widespread throughout the body. They form the covering of all body surface, line body cavities and hollow organs, and are the major tissue in glands. Hollow organs or body cavities. They perform a variety of functions which include protection, our skin help for protection, secretion, different kinds of substances are secreted, absorption, excretion, filtration, diffusion and sensory reception. These all are the functions of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue which present at the outer covering of the body and other organs. Okay. There are 3 types of epithelial tissue: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium and columnar epithelium. First one is squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium is thin, flat with irregular boundaries. Thin, flat with irregular boundaries. Cuboidal epithelium, the shape of the cell is cube-like. The shape of the cell is cube-like. So, it is called as cuboidal epithelium. Short cylindrical cells, cube-like, which appear hexagonal in cross section. Columnar cells are column-like or pillar-like. Long and column-like cylinder cell which have nucleus present at the base. That means here is the column-like cell, the nucleus is present at the base. If the columnar or cuboidal epithelium having cilia, it is called as ciliated cuboidal or ciliated columnar. Epithelium is of three types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. What is the main function? Main function to cover the body and other organ and also help for absorption, secretion, protection, diffusion, etc. Okay, then next question. Which type of tissue is responsible for voluntary movements in the human body? Voluntary movements, movement which with our will, that is voluntary. Involuntary, without our will, that is involuntary. Options are epithelial tissue, nervous tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue. Which tissue is called as voluntary tissue or striated tissues? Voluntary, which help in voluntary action. Walking, running, these all are voluntary action. Which tissue helped that movement? Which one? Muscular tissue. Muscular tissue have voluntary movement. Muscle tissue is composed of cells that have the special ability to shorten and contract in order to produce movement of body parts. We can move, we can raise our hand, or walking, running, these all are voluntary movement. This voluntary movement, that action is done by muscular tissue. The muscular tissue are of three types: skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is also called as voluntary muscle, which is attached to skeletal system. Then smooth muscle. Smooth muscles are smooth, having no striations, which is usually present in visceral organ or internal organ. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is exclusively present in heart. What is the function? Rhythmic contraction and relaxation. That is the function of cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is called as non-fatigue muscle. Okay, here the correct option is muscular tissue. Which type of tissue is responsible for voluntary movement? Voluntary movement is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue, the very correct answer is skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle. Okay, option, here is the option. Next, tendons and ligaments are. Tendons and ligaments, these two are connective tissue. Muscular tissue, connective tissue, skeletal tissue, fibrous connective tissue. Muscular tissue is not correct answer. You just discussed that muscular tissue are of three types. Then connective tissue. Connective tissue are of different types: dense connective tissue, dense regular, dense irregular, and fluid connective tissue. Then skeletal tissue. Skeletal tissue is a muscular tissue. Then last, fibrous connective tissue. Then which is the correct answer? Is this or this? That two are eliminated. Muscular tissue and skeletal tissues are eliminated. Then which is the correct answer? See, tendons and ligaments are the specialized type of fibrous connective tissue because they consist of collagen fibers. Fibrous connective tissue because they are consist of collagen fibers that give the connective tissue a strong, stable structure. Fibrous connective tissue is mainly responsible for supporting and absorbing shock for our bones and organ. Ligaments connect bone to bones, while the tendons connect muscle to bones. Ligaments and bones, these two are connective tissue. Here ligaments connect bone to bone and tendons muscle to bone. Then which is the correct answer? Tendons and ligaments are, see the first sentence, tendons and ligaments are specialized type of fibrous connective tissue. So which is the correct answer? The more correct answer is fibrous connective tissue. Fibrous connective tissue, it is connective tissue. Here is specified that the tendons and ligaments are which kind of connective tissue? That is fibrous connective tissue. Okay. Then next question. The cells of cork are dead and have a chemical in their walls that makes them impervious. Impervious does not enter into, to prevent enter into, to gases and water. The chemical is. Which chemical helps to impermeability or impervious to gases and water? that is present in the cork. Which is the correct answer? There are certain chemical substances: lignin, suberin, cutin and wax. What is the question? The cell of cork contain which kind of chemical? Lignin, lignified cells. For example, sclerenchyma is lignified. Sclerenchyma is simple permanent tissue which is lignified. Second, suberin. Suberin is a waxy substance similar to cutin or cuticle present in the thickened cell wall of many trees and shrubs, particularly in cork tissue. Cork is the outermost covering of a tree. Cork is the outermost covering of a tree. The another name of cork is called fella. The cork are dead and impervious to gases and water due to the presence of suberin. Cutin or cuticle and wax which is usually present at the surface of leaf. Okay, the correct answer is suberin. Read, suberin is a waxy substance similar to cutin present in the thickened cell wall of many trees and shrubs, particularly in cork tissue. Cork is fella. The outer cork cambium gradually loses the protoplast. Protoplast is a living tissue. Loses the protoplast means it becomes dead. And the cell wall becomes suberized. The deposition of the suberin provide a water protective layer. The answer is suberin. What is the question? The cells of the cork are dead and have a chemical in their wall that make them impervious to gases and water. Which chemical is present in that cork? What is the answer? Suberin. Okay. Then find the incorrect statement. Which statement is wrong? This is statement type question. First option. Parenchymatous tissues have intercellular spaces. Second, collenchymatous tissues are irregular thickened at boundaries. Not boundary, corners. Apical and intercalary meristem are permanent tissues. Meristematic tissue in its earliest stages lack vacuole. Which statement is correct? See the first statement. Parenchymatous tissues have intercellular spaces. What do you mean by intercellular space? The space between two cells. Here is a cell, here is another cell, here is another cell. The space between the cell is called as, here is the intercellular space. It is true statement. Parenchyma is simple permanent tissue. Second statement, collenchymatous tissues are irregularly thickened at corners. That is also correct. You already discussed the previous question. Collenchyma is also simple permanent tissue. Here the thickening is present only at corners. That is also correct. Third, apical and intercalary meristems are permanent tissues. Apical and intercalary meristem, that are meristems. Meristems are primary meristem and secondary meristem. Apical meristem is primary meristem. Apical meristem, primary meristem, and lateral meristem, secondary meristem. Apical and intercalary meristem are not permanent tissue, they are meristem, primary meristem. Permanent tissues are derived from meristem by differentiation. Primary meristem, example, apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and secondary meristem, example, lateral meristem. Permanent tissues are derived from meristems by differentiation. So, this is wrong statement. This is the wrong statement. Meristematic tissue in its earliest stages lack vacuole. What is vacuole? You know that the plant cell, 95% of the plant cell is covered by vacuole. The secondary metabolized and waste materials are present inside the vacuole. Meristematic cell does not have vacuole. Okay, so this is also correct. Lack means have no. Lack means no. Also correct. Then question is find the incorrect statement. Which is the incorrect statement? Third one is incorrect statement. Okay. See the answer. The apical meristem is located at the tip of root and shoot. The intercalary meristem is present at internode. What do you mean by internode? The space present in between two nodes is called as internode. The space present in between two nodes is called as internode. They are primary meristems and are not permanent tissues. They are primary meristems. Primary meristems. Apical meristem and intercalary meristem are primary meristem, not permanent tissue. They are present during the initial growth phase of the plant and help for the primary plant body. Okay, answer is option C. Incorrect statement, that is option C. Then next question. Intestine absorbs the digested food materials. What type of epithelial cells are responsible for that? Epithelial cells are of three types. Which are they? Squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. Here, which kind of epithelial tissue helps for the absorption of food in intestine? What are the options? Stratified squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, spindle fibers and cuboidal epithelium. Which one is correct answer? See, the columnar epithelium is found in those parts which are responsible for absorption and secretion, such as it forms the lining of the intestine, stomach and colon, forming mucous membrane. The columnar epithelium also forms a lining in the gallbladder and oviduct. Goblet cells are specialized columnar cells that have the capacity to produce mucus and protect the surface. So, which is the correct answer? Which one help for absorption of food materials in intestine? Which is the correct answer? Columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. The shape of the cell is column-like. Columnar epithelium help for absorption of digested food in intestine. Okay, this one is correct answer. Cuboidal epithelium is present in tubule, nephron tubule, proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, distal convoluted tubule. In that places cuboidal epithelium is present. The correct answer, columnar epithelium. Okay. Then last question. A person met with an accident in which two bones of the hand were dislocated. Two bones of the hand were dislocated. The position changed, that is dislocation. Which among the following may be the possible reason? What are the options? Tendon break, break of skeletal muscle, ligament break, areolar tissue break. Areolar tissue break is the wrong answer. Break of skeletal muscle, it is muscle, is also wrong. Then tendon break and ligament break, which is the correct answer. The two bones in the hand are radius and ulna. The name of the bones, radius and ulna. Annular ligament or orbicular ligament is a strong band of fiber present on the head of this radius that retains it in contact with radial notch of the ulna. The person must have broken the ligament which dislocated these two bones leading the fracture. What is the function of ligament? The two bones are attached or joined with the help of ligament. What is the function of tendon? The muscles and bones are connected with the help of tendon. What is the question? The two bones of the hand are dislocated due to. Which is the correct answer? Ligament break is the correct answer. The two bones are joined with the help of ligament. So, when the ligament break, the two bones of the hand dislocated. Okay, so the correct answer is ligament break, not tendon break. If tendon break, what will happen? The muscle and bones are connected with the help of tendon. Okay, here question is two bones are dislocated. So, the correct answer is ligament. Okay, that's all about the question discussion of tissues. Okay, thank you.